this second season, LeBron's team jumps up even further because he went from 42 wins to 51 now, and his team makes the playoffs for the first time in his career.
And he jumps from 27 points per game to 31.
Yeah, so I was gonna say he also made a leap statistically, and that this year was crazy because so many people were scoring over 30. Like even this year, like the year that we're currently in, how many people are scoring over 30? Maybe like one or two.
Yeah, I think so. I want to see.
Like,
so
there were. You got other guys like in the high 20s and shit too.
So look, there were 24 people who scored over 20 points per game this season. That's pretty good.
Because this year it's what, like, isn't it around the same or 40? Is it like in the 40s this year?
This year it's over 30. At least this second, it's still over 30. But I think this is a good barometer for where skill is at in the league. Like what? Because look at some of these names: Vince Carter, Ray Allen, Melo, Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce.
Yeah,
we got some of the best scorers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Garnett. You know what I mean? Like going all the way down.
Powell's averaging 20 and 9. Let's go, Powell.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but there are Hall of Famers throughout this top 20.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I think that's I think that looking at points per game and seeing how many guys were able to get over that 20-point barrier is a good barometer to look at for skill. Because I wouldn't say defense right now, because I still think defense is at a pretty high level at this point. You still have the Pistons and the Spurs winning championships based on their defense. You know?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Miami, for that matter, too. Same kind of deal. Still in that slower pace league. But LeBron James, 21 years old. Somehow, yeah, like you said, I just looked at it. Third in scoring with 31 points a game.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now he'd be what, second, first?
Yeah, how pissed do you think AI was to lose that scoring title?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 33 usually gets your scoring title easy.
Yeah, and 31 most of the time. Like Kevin Durant got it with 32.
Yeah,
and that was a great season. Like there's no hating on that season. Fucking Gilbert Arenas was here with almost 30 a game. You're right. And let's see.
But AI got so many scoring titles in his career that it don't even matter.
But what do you call it? Let's see how many stats he's in the top 10 here. So assists, he's 12th. Steals, 15th.
That's crazy. The league must have got, like, I don't know, maybe more skilled at the point guard position because, like, around he averaged almost that same amount of assists.
He was hitting top 10 easily.
He was 6, right?
Yeah. But free throw attempts, he's still top 10, top 5.
Yeah.
Field goals made, field goals attempted. But it's resulting in wins now.
Yeah.
So when we go to his team, right, I want to see if we can spot
good old Mike Brown.
Any help. Yeah, so when people thought Mike Brown was like a great coach. No, I don't think that was ever a time. Drew Gooden. So, same kind of cast of characters as we saw in the previous year. So, it's really just him getting better.
Yeah, that's a fact. And at this point, there's not really a second star in any team, right?
Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up. This is one of my favorite points to bring up. Because I was, much like we were talking about with the scoring here, and that we were talking about in the previous year, there's a lot. They're not going to see a lot of similarities in this team category. Just like you said, all these guys are on different squads for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
In terms of, because like when you compare, because a lot of people like to say, you know, like LeBron had to go against the Golden State Warriors, but the whole thing is like everybody in that year had multiple stars on their team. You know what I mean?
Or at least like, one ball dominant scorer. Like Jordan, the the shockwaves of the Jordan bomb on the NBA.
Yeah.
You're feeling it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best way to describe it. Just like you see guys like Giannis and Ben Simmons that mimic a young LeBron from now.
Yeah.
This is the Jordan period. All these guys are trying to do their best Jordan impression for the most part. You got Vince Carter, definitely could say that. Kobe, of course. Wade, Arenas was one of those guys. ISO scorer. Paul Pierce. Nowitzki was getting his shot going. Melo. Like, a lot of guys from that Jordan mold.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And organizations willing to put that type of system.
So that's crazy, like, because you got to be able to, like, pinpoint those things, like, because it happens throughout history, because it's just like if your favorite player, you're going to see a lot of people are going to play like him because they, growing up, that's who they looked up to. So, like, and then you get to see how it's kind of changed. Like, how did you change the NBA, and was it for the better?
Yeah,
like,
and I know that that's something that he talked about, and he's talked about as recently as in the last 5 years. But this is the last thing I wanted to point out about this stat sheet. 9 guys over 40 minutes a game.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy. And not only
Antoine Jameson asked, like, how you playing 40 minutes a game and only giving me 20 points, bro? What's up with you? Pitch it.
Lamar Odom's at 14.8.
Who? Oh,
Odom.
Yeah, and some dude named Ricky Davis is at 19.4. Whoever the fuck Ricky Davis is.
Yeah, these guys are.
You don't know Ricky?
Hey, Antoine Jameson's gonna come in our lives a little later when we get to LeBron's MVP season.
Wasn't Ricky a shooter?
Not by this assessment, making less than one, shooting only 30%, but 30% was okay.
I feel like I definitely watched him play.
Either way, like, look, even a young Joe Johnson.
What I wanted to ask was, do you think Jordan's change on the league was good? Do you think it was for the better, or do you not like that change that he had, that bomb that he placed on the league, and then now you see this? Do you think it was fun to watch, or it was exciting? Did you like it?
When I was a kid, I liked it. When I go back and watch it now, if I'm not watching it in like a 20-minute game highlight, like, I've gone back and watched full games of like the 80s and the 90s, and we were doing it during the pandemic with Jordan. And the games are a lot like they're all inside the 3-point arc, and basically it's been Jordan's bomb, right? Then the LeBron bomb, then the Curry bomb, that have done these ripples of you're seeing people come out like that, right? I don't know. I mean, it generated some Hall of Famers, right? Like, there's a lot of guys on this list we remember.
And the thing with Jordan's bomb is it kind of moved another 20 years because of Kobe. Like, people were watching Kobe and saying, I want to play like Kobe. So that's what makes Jordan's bomb like seem like it's so much longer sometimes.
That's a good point. Because I definitely think guys like Carmelo were influenced by Jordan, and then definitely Kobe immediately afterwards. You know what I mean? Yeah. And definitely guys like LeBron and that generation. Yeah. So I could
like
see
Devin Booker, for instance. You could see he had clear Kobe
Tatum.
Jason Tatum's another one. Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
We've mentioned. Yeah. Like,
they're definitely, they're still around, but they're less. They're little. We're getting further and further from that. I think it's good for the efficiency of basketball. However, it's always going to make people who are older think that these guys don't play a hard game. I just think the skills have changed in terms of what you need to be a basketball player. Like, in this era, if you couldn't shoot, you could probably still play because you could just bang and play defense. Like if you're
that's true.
If you can bang and play
defense, you can't shoot in the modern NBA. You kind of are.
You're fucked. Like we were just talking about it with Rudy Gobert. Like he's the best case scenario for a guy who can't shoot at that position.
Yeah, but he has to play like amazing defense, be arguably defensive player of the year every year. Like you have to like
look at Ben Simmons.
Great at another skill.
Ben Simmons great at everything besides shooting. Still not seen as a top. I don't think is he top 15 in the NBA. Do you look at him as a top 15 NBA player?
Yeah, I probably don't have Ben Simmons in the top 15.
Yeah, and I think if he was able to have a jump shot, you would. And I think that's the big difference. Where Ben Simmons,
for sure.
Yeah, where Ben Simmons in this era, I think would be seen as like a stud, like a world, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't bother him nearly as much.
Because he's great defensively. He doesn't it doesn't matter that much that he doesn't have a mid range, like shit like that. So,
but we're getting into playoff series because he finally makes. Oh wait, last thing. Second in MVP voting to Steve Nash. Which
was bullshit.
This is an award. This is awards that we've talked about before. With Kobe, LeBron. Because this is his 35 points per game season with no wins, right? Or, you know what I mean? Not no wins, but you get my point.
He made it to Kobe made it to the playoffs this year and almost beat Steve Nash in the playoffs. Like, that's the thing. They went 7 games.
These MVPs, the more guys we hit this point in the legacy breakdown, these almost hurt Steve Nash more than they help him for his legacy. Because I look at this and I go, this team did not deserve this because they never won a championship. And their owner always fucking cheaped out. There's a reason. That's why Joe Johnson isn't on this team right now in Phoenix. Yeah. And this guy's getting MVP, scoring 18 and 10. And we just talked about 4 guys putting up 30 points per game. Right? Isn't that? Yeah.
And locking up, too. Both Kobe and Bron were locking people up. Yeah. Kobe for sure, because he was on all defensive first teams and everything. Like, huh?
Allen Iverson got his steals.
Oh, Allen Iverson did too, you said?
No, he wasn't like an on-ball guy. He was a transition guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think that if he had come in second in these MVP voting, or in this MVP race more often, I think it would have helped his career. I think he would still be seen as a revolutionary player. He would still be seen as the head of 7 seconds or less. Like, I think the 2 MVPs, now people just look at them and go, he straight up did not deserve them. There's cases, this is another questionable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, was Kobe super hated at this time or some shit? Like, why Dirk would have more? Huh?
100%.
That's crazy. For him to do 35-5-5 with that team, that would have been the worst team in the league without Kobe. Like, him and LeBron were on the same shit. Like that. That's my whole thing. Like,
but
crazy. Dirk did not deserve to be third place, and Kobe had the second most first place votes.
But
such a robbery.
This is what I mean by the hype. But as we were talking about last season, the hype train is building, right? Even if you want to say that Kobe, you want to give Kobe the MVP. Like, did LeBron finish with more wins? I gotta look at that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, 51.
He had 51, and Kobe.
But he was in the East at that time. The East was not. That was the biggest thing in his career too. Like, he played most of his. This is me getting in my LeBron hater bag, though.
Hey,
but these are facts
they're important for this story.
Huh?
45 to 50 wins.
Yeah.
Right? Both playoff teams.
So look, Kobe got 5 less wins, and he was in a stacked Western Conference versus that bum ass East that this dude was in. Kobe would have been fifth.
LeBron and Kobe's teams are relatively equal in skill right now. I would argue Lakers better because they have Odom, who's scoring 20 points a game playing 40 minutes, as we just looked at. where Cavs don't have anybody putting up.
Can we look at Kobe's whole team real quick just to make sure that I'm not bugging? Because I'm about to say something. I just want to make sure I'm not tweaking.
Oh, they have Kwame Brown.
No, I know Odom.
I'm not saying this team is good. Oh wait, no, only 14 a game.
Kobe's team was worse. I was gonna say Brown had 2 guys averaging over 15 points a game. No, 3 averaging over 13.
Yeah,
my man. That's what I'm saying. Like Kobe had dog shit.
The argument will live forever. And
he scored 81. Come on, what are we talking about? He single-handedly, his team was losing by 20, and he said, nah, we're going to win by 20. All by myself. I didn't need y'all. Like, that's what he was saying. I didn't need y'all.
If you want more content.
Like, that's crazy. That's the definition.
The 81-point game. Check out our archives. I got a clip. Okay.
Yeah, come on. Like, that. What are we talking about here? When we talk about most valuable player, like, Kobe clearly was the most valuable player to his team. Like, that's crazy.
I can totally see the case for LeBron and Kobe over Steve Nash.
For sure. I know
we've made this argument.
I would say Bron easily.
We made this exact argument in the legacy breakdown with Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
We made this exact argument that we could see both these guys over Nash, and Nash should have been third. And with hindsight,
that's how you know, man. We keep our takes alive, all right? We don't play no games.
The Suns are third in their division. Like, Nash isn't even running away. Where's Timmy Duncan in this conversation?
Seriously. And Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan doesn't get any love because he had 2 guys that were good and a good coach. I hate that shit.
That makes sense.
I don't mind if the best player.
How many games did he play though? Oh, he played 80 games too. That's crazy.
My thing is, if you're gonna have less stats, you got to be the best player on the best team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, Steve Nash didn't deserve it way more than Tim Duncan did. Like, that's not true. Like Tim Duncan was there. Yeah,
I agree. Especially considering who wins the championship.
Steve Nash, you suck. Like, let's really talk about it. All-time point guards, and are you top 10? Probably is, right? But like, maybe
I was like, no comment.
Maybe top 10.
No comment. I love Steve Nash. The shittiest part is, though,
without those 2 MVPs, is he a top 10 point guard all time? Hell no.
Yeah, I don't think so. And
I'm saying, sure. Like, that's the only thing that holds him up.
He is, but I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. But it's shitty because he was one of my favorite players. But we got to get into these playoff series. So, Cavs Wizards. This was a fucking war.
Yeah. Between
2 individuals.
So this like clicked in my head when you mentioned that, like, they were having a duel, and I'm like, so could we compare this duel that they had to Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray last year?
Oh, yeah.
And if that happens, who do you think is the LeBron and who do you think is the Gilbert Arenas when it comes to careers?
That was so heavy. That was so much.
I'm lit, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought that would be fire, so I had to ask.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. That's it. And it popped up. It just popped up.
You know what's going to be really fucked up? When I look at the ages and I see LeBron's 21 and Gilbert's 24, and I know Donovan Mitchell's not older than 24, or Jamal Murray. I'm sure they're the same, but I can't think about it. They're not the same to me at all. So, Gilbert Arenas, no one.
I'm not saying. I'm saying whose career is gonna go like more closer to LeBron's, and whose career is gonna go more closer to Gilbert Arenas.
Ooh, okay. I'll say Donovan Mitchell gets the LeBron path.
Facts.
And I'll say Jamal Murray, and it's already Jamal Murray might not even get to be Gilbert Arenas, because this is the thing that people don't really understand. And we're not going to get another chance to talk about this man. His career happened like a fucking lightning. It looks like he played for a lot of years, but when he was at his peak, this 3-year window right here, he was one of the best 10 players in the league.
Agent Zero.
He was scoring. He was the face of Adidas.
He put 60 on Kobe. And that was something that I always had to live with throughout I only know that because the whole hood knew it. I used to get the whole hood on my Kobe played defense. Gilbert Arenas dropped 60 on him, and I had to always hold that because I'm like, it happened.
He was a fucking savage, and if you've ever seen his YouTube channel, to this day, he's still a savage.
Yeah,
he's a weird individual.
That's a fact though. He is, but not to keep jumping off the gun, but that's what I'm talking about. Like this era versus that, like that era, I used to have to hear about it from my friends all the time. If there was a Curry fan and a Damian Lillard fan in the room, Curry dropping 60 on Dame Lillard doesn't mean shit. Like, cause they don't care. They're like, oh, he was just hot that day or something. Like that's it. Like the defense, people cared about defense back then. Like even as a fan.
Yeah. But these two teams in particular, not known for their defense. We're not walking into like this isn't Detroit that we're gonna see in a second.
The Caps play pretty decent defense though.
Yeah, they're okay. It wasn't like.
Where did they rank this year?
It's a good question.
I feel like they're like a top 10 defense, but I might be wrong.
Let's see. I'm never gonna use. I feel like I am very cautious whenever I say anything Cleveland Cavaliers, even with LeBron.
Why?
Because I just like
14.
So they were 10th in opposing points per game.
Oh, okay.
And 14th in defensive rating. And pretty much 15th in, like, he's not there yet. That's the part about what he starts to do here.
Yeah,
as we
building a culture.
Yeah, to this year, the following year, right? It's all building, and it's all built. You know what else it is? It's building belief. Like, oh, this guy really is made up of everything that people say he is.
And it's eerily similar to MJ. Because the MJ, they found that it happened a little sooner, but after the second year, when he like kind of willed them to the playoffs that year when they were supposed to tank, like that kind of made that team realize that. And I think it's so like the beginning of their careers are so much similar because they both were like afforded the opportunity to just, you have the keys to this shit, and let's see what you do with it.
Yeah, and. Think about how much, I just can't imagine. Do you remember being 21 years old? This is stuff I hear announcers say, and I deeply think about it. Like, I just remember being 21, getting work study money, being a senior in college, like, not having a whole lot of responsibility. And this dude has the entire city of Cleveland on his shoulders at 21. Fuck me. That must have been difficult. Like that's the part that when I was young I had no appreciation for. Absolutely none.
I don't know. I don't know if I have much appreciation for it now, to be honest.
Dude, I've seen so many 21-year-olds be so much less composed.
Yeah. Like, not
even in basketball. I'm talking about in life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm just saying, like, he's just playing basketball. Like, he's just doing his what he loves to do. Like, to me, that's not like.
But look at this.
Not at this point in his career, he doesn't have that pressure. I think no one expected him to like win championships right now. I think once he got to 09, that's when I'd say like, okay, the world is on his shoulders right now. Like 09, like they were expecting you to do your shit. Like 2010, like when he lost to Boston, like that was big. But I think right now he doesn't really have much pressure on his shoulders because they're just like, oh my God, we're winning now. Like we were just 3 years ago, we didn't even hit 20 wins. Like, and now we fucking 50 wins. We're making it to the semifinals or whatever. Like,
they went from the outhouse to the penthouse right next to wherever you are with the beach in the background.
yeah, exactly. Facts. If y'all need to know my location, I got y'all.
That's not how the internet works. No.
Location.
All right. Then we do. He's got Detroit next, right? Gets through. This was a 7-game series.
Yeah. The Wizards series.
Yeah.
Well, funny story with the Wizards series. Isn't this the series that that he tells Gilbert Arenas, if you miss this free throw,
Is it Gilbert Arenas or Deshaun Stevenson?
Oh, it might be Deshaun Stevenson. My bad, not Gilbert. Because Gilbert would probably hit that shit.
He is a savage.
I'm pretty sure it was Game 5. I think he said if you miss it, you lose the series or some shit. They went to OT or some shit, right?
This is the shootout. Yeah, overtime.
Damn, do they have the play-by-play? Because I think he misses the free throw because I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe is it Game 6? It might be Game 6. Check Game 6. Because that shit, I remember that. That was some shit people was talking about for a while. Because this is like pressure. If you have a free throw for this, I'm about to lose. If I miss this, we fuck.
Are you sure they don't play them again?
Oh, misses for 2 out of 2. 2 for 2, I think.
That's a 3-point. Oh, you're saying up here.
Yeah, and then he pretty much saying, yeah. Because look, there was 15 seconds left.
You were right. I was wrong. It wasn't Gilbert Arenas. Or it was Gilbert Arenas, rather.
Oh, okay. You a puss, Gilbert. Fuck out of here. Who you drop 60 on? We don't give a fuck about that. You missing free throws in the playoffs, you bum ass.
And then notice how later in the play sheet, LeBron having nothing to do with the go-ahead bucket.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Just keep that in mind.
That's an important game. And LeBron was a little pussy. Who's D. Jones? We don't even know who he is.
He is an irrelevant.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. That's your name now. I don't even know what your name is, but your name is Daniel now.
As Shaq likes to say, he was an other.
Yes.
All right. So now
out here, Shaq. You was an other.
So they win in 6. LeBron averages 35. Absolute savagery. Where is? I gotta get to the next one. So now we got the Pistons. Damn, you're not fucking around when you're talking about eerily similar.
And these are the
Detroit Pistons.
No. I was gonna say the defending champs.
Oh,
they just won. Huh?
That too.
They had just won, right? Well, this is 06 or 05, 06. No, so they had won 2 years before that, and he brought them to 7-game series. That's fire.
And
you gotta give him a little bit of respect, even though he's a little puss.
26, 8 and 6. Shot 44%, 27% from 3, 8 for 29 on the series from 3.
Yeah. And the whole thing is like, the reason I'm not going to kill him for his averages going down in this series, when he was shooting over 30 in the regular season, he just shot 35%, is because that Detroit Pistons team was dead nice. So it's not like you were going against a whack. Like, that was one of the best defensive teams ever, probably.
I agree. And especially during this era. Like,
and it was easy. It would have been easy for me to kill him. That's my whole thing. Is like, I'm on hater mode right now because I'm remembering how I felt back then. So,
hey, they beat Kobe too. So
who?
This era Pistons.
Oh, okay. No, I know. That's why I'm not hating. Why you gotta bring my boy up though?
I thought
you bring him up constantly though too.
Well, this is his era. That's what I'm saying. Like, this ain't LeBron's era. This is Kobe's era. Kobe was running the league at this point.
When we're looking at the Pistons, we're looking at 4 guys in double figures. Yeah, 4 guys in double figures. 4 guys almost 15 points a game. This is how they did their business.
Yeah, facts.
And LeBron can't get a guy over 10 points to save his life. Big Z is struggling to get to 10 points. 10 points on 47% shooting, and that guy's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Pretty sad. Anderson Varejao is coming off the bench and giving 57%.
Yeah, Varejao.
That's your third score. Yeah. A guy who was pooped on by Dwayne Wade.
Oh, yeah.
Horrific dunk.
He's still in that body bag weight. Yeah. We never seen him after that, to be honest.
Really? I've seen him. I just always remember him as like LeBron's
big haired friend. I was being a dick. I'm just like saying.
He was just like a Big Bird style creature. Yeah. Would walk around all gangly, but
he got out of the league.
He would move to the Pistons.
LeBron left,
and he would develop a rivalry with Detroit. They're in division, right? And he's going to see them now in the playoffs more than once.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to finish this year out going into the next one.
That's crazy.